Style. Je ne sais quoi. Essence. What is it? How would you define it? For me, style is and should be a reflection of our personality. It should be the reflection of what an individual is, who they are, their uniqueness, as opposed to who they want to be. It shouldn't be a facade that people put on to almost represent a goal that they want to achieve in life, personified or in apparel. I think style should be something that we as individuals reflect once we know ourselves or as we develop as human beings. My style can best be defined or explained in 3 words: classically, chic, and minimal. My style is classic because I appreciate the older things in life. I'm what one would refer to as an old soul. I like, history to a certain extent. I love things that question the true value of things. My style is chic because it's playful and loves to play with loves to have fun to a certain extent. And my style is also minimal because I do love to do things in a very organized but simple format. I think my style reflects me specifically because that's just who I am. I love history to a certain extent. I love to have fun to a certain extent, of course with reason, but I also do love to be simple, succinct. So I think my personality usually reflects my style. It took me a while to reach this point to try and understand what the definition of style was, but I'll say one thing I think our society doesn't do a good job of doing is encouraging people to see style not as a reflection of who they want to be, but rather a reflection of who they already are. Because the reason why I think it's a problem in our society to encourage people to want to look like something as opposed to already looking like what we are is we as individuals don't accept ourselves. We don't receive the individuals that we are. We wish to be someone else, and in so doing, we reject our own selves. And this to me is a problem. Why? Because I think we as individuals are enough. I'm tired of this idea of trying to be someone when the person that I am is enough, you know? I think this is what style should be. This is what we should be talking about when we talk about perception and image and even the true word that really does or really is the center of all this questioning. It's beauty. Beauty, regardless of how well someone's appearance may look for the day, for 2 seconds, beauty does come from inside. It is supposed to be, mostly is, a reflection of how someone really sees themselves. Usually when an individual doesn't feel beautiful or doesn't see their value or their worth, and I'm not talking phenotypes, but when they don't see their value as a human being, nine times out of 10, it's because they don't see their worth. They don't see their value. And I think that's usually the deeper problem that does come from all of these issues of trying to find oneself. If you've rejected yourself 9 times out of 10, it's because you don't think you're worthy. And that is what causes you to reject what you think is beautiful or your style. You question yourself. And I have to say, I've fallen into that pit in the past a lot of times. And that was mainly because I got caught into this world that was style at the time. At that time, style was, it was flashy and it was amazing. It looked good. It smelled good even. It looked like Victoria's Secret models. And that's not to say Victoria's Secret models don't also have their own beauty. It's not to say. It's just I found this to be problematic because not everyone was born to be a Victoria's Secret model. I'm not talking phenotypically, just personality-wise. Some people are historians, they're nerds, or whatever, you know? Everyone has their own caricature, and I think when I got caught into that world and I saw how beautiful it was, I thought, where do I fit in? Who am I? I saw caricatures that didn't look like me, right? And what was my caricature? I like to read. I like to watch movies. I'm not the outgoing necessarily type. I like to write. I like to write poems. I'm not the conventional caricature. And I thought I had to look like that, act like that, in order to fit into this beautiful perception or title of beauty. The truth of the matter is I didn't need to do any of that. So, for me, the definition of style is and should be a reflection of who someone already is, not who they want to be, but who they are. That's not to say in discovering yourself you can't learn to appreciate what makes you beautiful. It's not to say that, because of course, if you do have what makes you beautiful, there is beauty that is within that. There's uniqueness involved, and sometimes it may not even have to look like anything, right? It's beautiful because it is. You exist because you do. You're valued because you are, not because of what the world says or because of who finds you beautiful at the time. I think whatever style it is that we have, we should embrace it. We should love it, not because the world has found it to be beautiful, but because it's our own. It's unique. It's our own. It's in a sense our own patent. I think this is what beauty is. I think this is what style is and should be. And I think anyone else that questions that ethic or, my gosh, those set of facts are trying to force you to be something else. They're trying to stop you from being yourself. I stand against that. I think style is your je ne sais quoi. It is your essence. It's who you are. I love the unique things that I said I do, and I read, and I love it. I don't need to be anyone else. A lot of the times I find that we are our most beautiful selves when we just accept ourselves. We just be, you know? That's when our most beautiful essence is shown. I hope my speech didn't bore you. If you did watch any of my poems, if you enjoyed them, I just wanted to give you a little tidbit about me. And I wanted to start asking questions about topics that do matter to me, like these. This is more of a topic on self-perception, right? Image, and more specifically, something that is more literal, translates down to one word: style. Here's my definition. What is yours?